What assets are safe when qualifying for Medicaid long-term care? Imagine trying to get Medicaid to help cover your long-term care costs and wondering which assets you can keep without losing eligibility. That's what we're here to clarify. When applying for Medicaid long-term care, certain assets are considered exempt or safe and won't count against the strict limits. These exemptions help you protect some property while still qualifying for benefits. Most states set an asset limit of around $2,000 for individuals, but some states have higher limits or different rules for couples. Countable assets include cash, bank accounts, stocks, bonds, additional real estate beyond your primary home, retirement accounts, and other investments. Income limits are separate from asset limits and also matter in eligibility. Now, let's look at what assets are usually safe. Your primary residence is often exempt if its equity value is below a certain threshold. This amount varies by state but is generally between $730,000 and $1,097,000. The home stays exempt if you plan to return or if a spouse or dependent lives there. Keep in mind, after your passing, Medicaid may seek recovery from the home. One vehicle used for transportation is typically exempt too. Household goods like furniture, clothing, and personal belongings are not counted. Prepaid burial plans and burial plots are usually exempt up to a certain value to cover funeral expenses. If your spouse is not applying for Medicaid, they can often keep a portion of the couple's assets, sometimes over $150,000, to prevent impoverishment. Certain life insurance policies are also safe. Term life insurance with no cash value generally isn't counted, but whole life or cash value policies might be, unless their value is minimal. State rules vary, so it's important to check specific limits. For example, in Ohio, as of 2025, a single applicant can have up to $2,000 in countable assets. The primary home, if its equity is under $730,000, is exempt. One vehicle and prepaid burial plans are also protected. The home exemption requires an intent to return, and the state may recover costs from the home after death. In Michigan, asset limits for long-term care Medicaid have increased, allowing the home, furniture, and vehicles to be exempt. Most states also requiring applicants to contribute their income toward care costs, with a small personal needs allowance kept for daily expenses. Proper planning is key. Strategies like creating trusts, transferring assets, or using a qualified income trust can help protect assets legally. The home is a critical asset that can often be preserved during Medicaid eligibility but may be subject to recovery later. Knowing your state's specific rules is essential because Medicaid rules are a mix of federal and state regulations. In summary, safe assets include your primary residence within equity limits, one vehicle, household goods, prepaid burial plans, and protections for the community spouse. All other assets like cash, investments, and additional property usually count toward the asset limit. Planning ahead helps you qualify for Medicaid while keeping as much of your estate as possible.